Saint Knyaz Rastislav, or Rostislav, was the second mentioned ruler of Moravia from the years 840 to 870 AD, from the Moimir dynasty, founded by his uncle Moimir I. Moravia was a medieval region that was comprised out of territories from modern-day Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Austria, Poland, and Germany. The nation re-emerged at the beginning of the 9th century as a successor state to Samos tribal union from 2 centuries before. Wishing to develop his country, Duke Rostislav invited to his lands church theologians and scholars in order to organize the Christian church inside his domain, while at the same time reforming his administration. This is how the birth of the famous mission of Saints Cyril and Methodius took place, sponsored by the Byzantine Empire and the illustrious Saint Photius the Great of Constantinople. It is also important to note that in this period of time, Great Moravia was in between 2 larger foes, the Frankish kingdom to the west and the First Bulgarian Empire to the southeast, headed by Saint Knyaz Boris I. After the failed state of Samo, the regions of Great Moravia fell into disarray and were incorporated either in the Frankish state or the Avar, and afterwards the Bulgarian one. Knyaz Rastislav took the throne of Great Moravia around the year 846 AD and soon realized that if the country would be fully Christianized and modernized, then the faith would have to be spread through an intelligible language, since the Slavs did not know neither Greek nor Latin. After an unsuccessful request aimed at the Pope in Rome to limit the activities and abuses of the Frankish missionaries in Moravia, who were suspect of furthering the political goals of the East Frankish kingdom, Duke Rostislav turned his attention towards Constantinople. The 2 holy brothers sent from Byzantium were for their time exceptionally educated scholars and pious members of clergy who fully understood and backed Rostislav's intentions and ambitions. Before their arrival in Moravia, Saints Cyril and Methodius took a detour to Rome, where Pope Adrian II reversed the decisions of his predecessor and gave his full support to them, authorizing their use of Slavic language and ordaining them as bishops. They went on to create the Slavic script, Glagolitic, and translate the Bible, the liturgies of St. John Chrysostom and Basil the Great, and other important divine services into the language of the Slavs. Their missionary work had a profound initial success in cementing Christianity in the country and the rule of the Knyaz as guarantor of the Church. However, the East Frankish state would not abandon its ambitions in the region, and they conspired in order to realign, both politically and religiously, Great Moravia with them and not Byzantium. The newly arrived Frankish missionaries feared that the work of Saints Cyril and Methodius were supporting the autonomy and self-governance of Duke Rastislav's state too much, and falsely accused the Holy Brothers of using an unsanctified language, and then proceeded to spread the doctrine of the Filioque amongst the Moravians. The new Pope, Nicholas I, reversed again the alignment of Rome and demanded that the 2 missionaries defend their work once more in Rome. In the meantime, although Knyaz Rastislav successfully defended his country from Frankish invasions, he fell prey to the scheming of his own nephew, Svatopluk. In 870 AD, Saint Rastislav was imprisoned and handed over to the enemy, where he was tried and tortured in the presence of the King of East Francia, Louis II the German, was tried, blinded, and imprisoned for life. He died after terrible suffering in 870 AD in prison. His successor, Duke Svatopluk I the Great, also fought against the Franks, but eventually was forced to allow the work of the Latin and Frankish missionaries in his country. While heinous, Svatopluk I did try to resist the Frankish incursions in Central Europe, And there are tales of his wise rule, being admired even by Byzantine emperors, and it is believed that he repented of his crime against his uncle. Unfortunately, the disciples of Saints Cyril and Methodius were expelled from Moravia by Svatopluk, who favored the Latinization of his church, sold into slavery, and, finally, ending up in Bulgaria, where they reproduced the administrative successes of their teachers. Although his plans were not realized, the holy Knyaz Rastislav enabled the emergence of a new successful Christian tradition, the Slavonic one, and supported the religious success of the Bulgarians, Russians, and Serbians. The restored Orthodox Church in the Czech lands and Slovakia has officially canonized Knyaz Rastislav of Great Moravia during a solemn service that took place on October 29th, 1994. His feast day is on May 11th.